Hello, everyone. Nekoboy Blue bringing you a ANS versus OSP 4v4 here on Ruby Shelf. We got our teams dropping in now. In the blue trunks, we have Highball, Daminar, Vastal, Subtle, Hubris. And then over on the orange side, we've got Harley, Crow, Whatever, and Kalmia. Ruby Shelf is a bit of an interesting map due to the points layout being a little different than most of the other maps in-game. We've got these two central points here divided by this big rock in the middle, the Ruby Shelf that the name of the map is, well, listed after. That was a sentence that I'm just going to roll with, foot in the mouth, as it were. D point is the ANS blue team's natural. C point is the OSP orange team's natural. E point is this kind of off to the side contested zone. There's a lot of places you can tuck beam destroyers in this map, giving them a very decisive advantage at controlling these points. Specifically, these little holes in the rock here can be notoriously hard to root them out of. Still can see some other nasty surprises like rocket shuttles or tugs tucked into those exact same spots. Going to see how the teams decide to deploy right now. It looks like a blue team dispersing themselves evenly across the map. Orange team doing about the same. So we're going to see just how things go here. Crack open a cold one myself to enjoy this game, and I encourage everyone else to sit back, relax, and enjoy for some Saturday nonsense. "15 seconds to go as Vastal and Harley are just last ones to lock in here, finalizing their deployments. We'll see what the fleets are as we go through them now. All right, dropping in, we see a pair of bulk freighters from the AND RNV. I believe that's Kalmia's fleet. Going to see Plasma and T-30 on these, so nice topsiders, able to deliver a whole bunch of Daka and Plasma. All right, 1 second here. Let's take a look. So we got one, and then we got two of these things, Plasma and T-30s, working in tandem together, peeling apart the enemy's armor and then opening them up. These are triple threats. As you can see, they have the 250s on top, giving you 3 different types of ammunition to throw at your enemy. Kalmia rounding out the rest of their fleet with a couple of these little shuttles here. Let's take a look here. Crow bringing in a 450 monitor. Interesting. Has Plasma turret and Grazer on the side. They've got another one with 450 and Plasma. These are some interesting creatures. You typically see a lot of the C90 monitors. Haven't seen too many of these 450 ones. Typically see 450 being brought on bulk freighters or on other platforms such as these capital assets. A Cello pair coming out here. Typically like seeing these dispersed, provides a bit better area coverage. That said, these both have some very good soft kill and hard kill suites, so going to provide an excellent screen for the center of the OSP formation. Whatever is bringing in a little missile boat here. Ooh, we love seeing these things, so let's check what is on the nose of this thing. Has some decoy containers to mess with the enemy's head and a whole bunch of size 2 missiles. Very good silo asset. Rounding out the rest of Whatever's fleet, we've got a couple of these little T-20 scouting skirmishing shuttles here. 1, 2, 3 of them. Then we've got a multi-mission tug and another multi-mission tug and a third multi-mission tug, so it comes in 3s there. Let's take a look over on the ANS side of the map. We've got Daminar coming in here. They got a 450 broadside Axford here, joined by another 450 broadside. This one has the side guns here, the Mark 62, so able to contribute a little bit extra firepower. Let's see, do these things come with track correlated spyglass? Seeing spyglass, 1, 2, 3, 4 track correlators is the name of the game, trying for that 11-kilometer gaming style. Eyeball coming in here with a whole bunch of sprinters. Taking a look around the map real quick, we see that both teams are securing the natural. C point is going to the orange team. D point is going to the blue team. Let's continue through our fleets. Eyeball down here has these VLS-2 launcher. We've seen these before working in pairs. Has a, I believe these are command seekers. They've got the bullseye and then the blanket jammer to cover their approach. These working in tandem provide a very annoying thing for the OSP to deal with. They've got a little spyglass frigate kicking around the map, has a pinard in order to detect early warning radars and possibly hunt them down. Torpedo corvette out lurking in the wings here, joined by another torpedo corvette just kind of hanging out on the sort of natural runway into the A side here. I see some skirmishing for that middle point. Naturals are being capped here by a 3rd torpedo corvette and then a 4th torpedo corvette. Wait, did I miscount there? Hang on a second. We got 1, 2, 3, and then 4 torp corvettes, indeed. And then lastly, we have it rounded out with a little naked ship. So, that'll be that. Subtle Hubris bringing in the other axe repair. These ones, front-siders. Plot twist, no beams. Yes, no beams being on display, despite we were talking about how beams are very effective on this map. Instead, ANS forsaking one of their assets there, so they're going to instead elect to invest into other things such as these Axfords here we're just talking about. Mark 62s on the side of these. A lot of Daka. These things want point front towards the enemy and brawl it out in that kind of closer range bracket. Vostal rounding out the fleet here with a, wow, that is a formation if I ever saw one. Let's count through these things. Are these all Vostal's assets? Looks like it. Yeah, just big old orbital wing going off here. These have a bunch of size 2 missile launchers, defenders, bullseye locks, and whatnot. This one has jamming to cover it. And then lastly, hanging out behind it, it's got a little bit of additional support here with this ship. what is this thing? Just a missile silo and jammer combination. So interesting little going for that like top of the map strike. Probably expecting there to be mass drivers or something they can try and hunt down. Let's take a look. ANS, we're talking about this, placing your bets and whatnot. Whole bunch of firepower here, deciding that you do not get the A point. All of those sidearms now switching over to their RPF rounds, going to trim out the entire front side of the shuttle here. Hawk steering just getting shredded here. Yeah, this thing is tough, but is not that tough as it eats a missile for good measure here. Yeah, A point will be denied here. Bomber flank is a big thing to worry about. Looking at around the map, we're going to see a pair of corvettes over here from Highball. One of them is torpedo variety, one of them is naked variety, just going to go towards the E point. Does not look like OSB has enough stuff in position to contest that right now. A point cap has been denied. B point cap, we got 2 ships going towards it. They have 100 cap advantage, yes. That was a feature we decided on the start of the game, expecting there to be a bit of beam decided advantage on this map. In this case, though, that's going to dictate a little bit of this, so we're going to see how this goes. Bullseye in the back. We'll talk about this in a quick second, but this is a very beam-favored map, so OSP was given a slight advantage. Now they are getting a slight more advantage as the B point is going to get capped by them, both of their shuttles uncontested down here now. See how this developed more. Does ANS have more ships? Taking a look at it, ship count looking pretty even here. I think ANS might have 1 or 2 more. Hard to say right now. Pretty even. Anyways, looking at these orbital assets just cruising over here, unscouted. No early warning radars on display, so OSP severely lacking the awareness. This is going to come in like a wrecking ball from high above. Here's some missiles being fired out now. A bunch of size 2s trying the waters here, trying to see what they can find. Looks like they are just pathed here, likely going for whatever might have been moving off D point. Bunch of AMMs are going to clean up shop here, or these are just going to miss. No hits there. 18 versus 18, flat even. Yeah, even ship count here. Not something the OSP wants themselves to be finding themselves in a situation of. The OSP typically bringing more hulls thanks to the cheapness of the shuttle and the tug. Just going to see how this goes out here. Multi-mission tug here up front. Unfortunately, this jammer is not operational right now. It's going to be eating some 450 for its trouble. You see a lot of the hull now getting taken down a peg or two. 20% damage on many of these components. Damage control team's going to have to repair those up. B-point secured here. A torpedo out in the water going up against this shuttle that has no defense is going to eat that right on the nose. That... what? That did next to no damage. Like, it takes out a thruster, but just a light peppering across the whole ship. That is unusual. Huh. I expected that thing to be taken apart completely. Anyways, size 3 hybrid being fired out here now. Gets a lock onto target. Is going after Chaff Cloud or ship. Let's find out. Act Seeker is command validated. It's going to find ship. Wham. There we go. That is the damage we want to see. Taking out the topside radar and turrets here, as well as the chaff box. There you go. May have been an odd angle. Yeah, strange impact there. Looked like it was bang on the nose, but here you go. ANS is going to be taking the A point here. Size 2 missiles being fired out and not finding any purchase. Is now a 2-2 cap, although OSB does have a slight points lead, as was described earlier, giving them a handicap. Let's take a look-see around to see how the battle space will develop here. Seeing a couple of the OSP assets kind of hanging back, playing a little passively, expecting that there could be beam coverage. Vostal from above kind of ratting themselves out a little bit here, triggering the jamming, which causes the burn-through to go through and scout them. So, questionable about that. They may have been spotted before, they may not have. Definitely, they are aware that there's a bunch of assets up here now. OSP will be fast to react and realize that their flanks have been compromised. Needs to reposition things. There's a size 2 strike out hunting for them right now. Still, there's plenty of point defense and other assets here to deny that missile strike. See, all these defenders here are going to do a lot to clear out those. Huntress Shuttle, cool. All right, let's take a look. Yeah, Huntress Shuttle. So in this case, this is just a little cheap radar asset you can do. Huntress in one of these ships is incredibly cheap. So while we said that there was no early warning radars, this is a nice way of burning through and trying to detect some of these harder to see assets. See more missiles being fired out now as they are roughly pathing onto target. Vostal might get punished here, might not. We'll see. Time on target is a little bit off. Yeah, these are not, unfortunately, in the right area. Fleet has moved itself over. These, however, will find purchase against their targets. Seeing some chaff clouds being popped there. No AMMs, just all the defenders in the world. Take a look as those go off. Probably not going to find their way home. Yeah, looks like most of them going after chaff clouds here. Some of them maybe, though. Ooh, ARAD, no, does not turn off the radars in time. Getting punished there. Little lapse in micro there. Boom. Yep, ARAD Act going to be hitting these guys. Some of them coming around for another pass, but getting deflected. Some of these also Act Wake Val, so yeah. A little bit of an error there on Vostal's part, trying to reposition to dodge them. Unfortunately, not being able to evade the good leading they've done. Let's take a look-see around as the battle space develops. Look down here, E-Point, we've had that naked Corvette being cleaned up, so the E-Point remains neutral. A bunch of the frontliners now exchanging fire with each other. Seeing these 450... the 450 monitors are not exchanging fire with anything right now. Possibly they just don't quite have the range, or they don't have the radar. Again, lacking the early warning radar, they are not able to determine where exactly the ANS formation is, limiting themselves to just the Huntress, and possibly a spyglass in one of these. Let's see, does they still have spyglass? Taking a look for the internals here. Where's these compartments and mounts and stuff. There's parallax on this one. Let's check, is there spyglass in the other one? There is spyglass here, so they do get a 11-kilometer lock. Ammo elevated spyglass and that, so they do have a search radar able to scout at the edge of the 450 range there. That said, that's not going to get you super accurate fire. You need to get a little closer to establish a bullseye lock. Looks like that is, I can't read the range bracketing here due to it being blocked by the rocks, but I believe that that is beyond the maximum range yet. Not seeing these things getting locked up, just going to be some inaccurate fire plinking away. Some of them might find purchase, but that's not going to be the decisive damage they're looking for. Missile 2 crit on a shuttle. Ooh, that's interesting. Which one? Let's see if we can find out. Yeah, so funny little error that can happen there. You can get a critical event going off of the size 1 arming missiles here, or AMMs, I believe. So those can be fixed quite easily, but still a little thing to worry about that could spell death for a ship. Nope, size 2 missile does not get intercepted there. Another missile going to find its way home, skeletizing most of the internals here. Ox steering is still alive, keeping the ship in the game. It is able to wander its way onto a point, possibly in the late game. Yep, Vostal, although they got legged, so to speak, here, losing the drive here with no restores means that the ship will only be able to fire its missiles at targets from here. Speaking of firing missiles, some more size 2s coming up from below here, trying to hunt down Vostal's little bombing wing from above. See if the defenders are good or not. Chaff clouds have been popped. They have turned off their engines for the moment. A bunch of them are still finding their way home. The ARADs, I think, locking onto the radars there. Yeah, Vostal getting punished by this missile player. Another one finds purchase here, knocking out the main engine there. Drives are still active, though, so they will be able to move. However, they are going to be limping along. Meanwhile, in the front line, on the other side of the map, we're going to flip over here, see in the crystal array, the Iron Lung and the Iron Heart over here. Bit of a running theme there, I guess, for naming conventions. They're exchanging fire against the Axfords over here. They're taking it on the nose, having a good time. No concerns had there. They're just going to start peppering away at these things. Bit of a neutral trade here as the monitors, they are getting shot, but most of these shots is kind of deflecting or hitting into thrusters, not getting any decisive damage. One VLS with size 2. Ooh, that's going to hurt. Yeah, a bunch of missiles being denied up here, so let's take a look, see which one of these it was. Yeah, this one. So unfortunately, yeah, the bombing wing getting a lot of its assets trimmed out. Either the drives getting knocked out, the actual missiles they're trying to deliver getting knocked out, or just otherwise being sandbagged by this constant suppression barrage. More size 2s coming out for their trouble. They have to keep one radar on to task onto these things. Just gonna watch as more of these missiles weave back and forth, finding their way home. Vostal just getting intercepted here. He got scouted out by that Huntress shuttle earlier and now is being punished for it. Still, OSP kind of in the head and by about those 100 points right now. Fairly neutral game overall, 2-2 cap. There's a slight cap deficit, though, that ANS will have to make up at some point, so we'll see how things develop. They look like they're pretty happy to take this frontline fight. Firing the sidearms here, which aren't the most effective against the 48 centimeters of monitor armor. That said, with enough degradation to the front side of this thing, they will start to find purchase. Noticing the lead gun here, the C-65, has been temporarily redded out, although not knocked out. Now the fleet over here, the Chaos and the, Terror, nice little duo there. They are getting plasmid, so going to start losing some of that front side armor they rely upon for survivability. Let's take a look, see around here. Yep, 450 flying in here from Hardley's side as well. A bit of a long kind of drawn-out gunfight here. We saw a exchange of missiles on one side of the map. Vostal continuing to get punished by missile salvos here. I think the bombing wing might just be dead, done, and dusted. Wham. Captain Chaos commenting on the names over here. Where was it? Dominar, yeah, with the Chaos here. So, Kalmia opening up. Yeah, let's see, where is Kalmia? Kalmia with the plasma here. Hello, yep. Topsiders coming out to say hello. They've managed to move themselves aggressively into the closer quarters combat range here. A bunch of the OSP fire, ANS fire just trimming out the OSP asset here. One of those shuttles just getting it. Yeah. So unfortunately, Plasma has a bit of a slower travel time. So with good maneuvering, they can dodge a lot of it at this range, also depending on track quality. So yeah, evading the better part of that punch. They do get a little bit toasted across the front of their ship, seeing the thrusters here getting taken down to 0%, although not knocked out quite yet. So second volley is starting to come out now as Kalmia has committed to the aggression here. That's it. These are Axfords that are meant to bow tank and lead a whole bunch of formations. Seeing the Mark 62 spitting lead downrange as the 450 follows up as well. Kalmia going to start suffering here. We see a lot of their systems starting to get redded out across the ship. Yeah, Plasma finally finds purchase and bites into the ship at this range, about, what do you call that, 5 kilometers. Yeah, that's going to get some very good cooks off on the ships now. Seeing the, the I Claudius over here from Subtle Hubris just getting cooked across the entire front side. HEHC follow-up sure to follow. Additional support being provided by Hardley from down low, moving in aggressively now, realizing the state of the flank over here. ANS forced to give ground as they're trying to get damage over time with their Axfords. Now Plasma being redirected over. Chaos is taking some hits on the nose. Yeah, that is too many Axfords to fight. Yeah, a little bit of an overextension here. Kalmia picked a favorable fight, but is now realizing that this is more fleet than you've bargained for. 4 Axfords is nothing to sneeze at as they're going to quickly deliver a whole bunch of 450 into this ship. Yeah, front thrusters and turrets are down. This ship is on borrowed time here unless it can manage to get out. Needs to fire its reversing thrusters. Unfortunately, it is going the wrong direction right now. Overextension there. While they did manage to push back the ANS and get some good plasma hits, they are being heavily punished for them. Yeah, or Greedfords, by the way. Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what they mean by Greedford. I'm assuming they're talking about forsaking PD on the side slots here in favor of more Mark 62 DACA, really getting the benefits of these modules here. Ammo elevated to hell, 5 of them. Yeah, Kalmia going to bleed one of their ships here. Yeah, this is not what you want to take as a fight like that. You can elect to do a favorable push like this. However, you need to make sure that you are not biting off more than you can chew. We've seen this quite a bit today. Exfords are able to do a lot of damage against overly aggressive bulk freighters. Hello from the plasma side, though. 4 plasma turrets belching shots over here. These are going up against a Corvette. And while they might not deal the most damage, damage is still damage, seeing a couple of these systems here getting splashed. Hoping to see some grape shot or HE rounds firing into these. Did Linus get mobility nerf? There's a slight bit of changing going on due to the way the drives have been reworked in that, but take a look at this thing. It has booster reactor and the long haul drive here, so not quite as nimble as it used to be. No more linear thrust. Now the rest of the OSP formation catching up, although they might be a little too late. Plasma being fired from the belly guns here, 450 as well. So they are able to plasma strip them, but they really needed to do this in tandem. OSP, unfortunately, their bulkers getting a little too aggressive moving forwards. This one is dead, done, and dusted. Is going to go reactor critical in about a minute. Yeah. Let's take a look over here. So yeah, they are pushing onto the point now. They have secured themselves the E-cap, and they will be able to hold out here for long enough to get it. The thing is, though, that ANS is winning these gunfights, trimming out one bulk freighter, and then starting to do a lot of damage here in this front line. That is a whole bunch of DACA you do not want to be sitting under for a long period of time. Take a look around the map. Vostal's dispersed frigates, or dispersed corvettes, rather, trying to limp away with whatever they had. They took big missile hits after being scouted out, possibly threatening the C-cap. Seeing a little bit of missile play going off here. Torpedo will miss the shuttle over on the side. Looks like it must have gotten jammed out. Yep, jammed out from a multi-mission tug there. Vostal about spent, so one of the ANS fleets pretty much out of the fight there. Yeah. Vostal saying is an older fleet, needs some adjustments, modernize the tech and whatnot. Command guided missiles, size 2 is going out here, trying to finish off some of Highball's ships. Let's see if these strike true or not. Gunfight progresses over on the east side. A lot of direct damage firepower there. The command is looking good. We'll see if the track quality is good enough to make these fly home or if they will miss. Yes, that is going to be 4 big hits. The Moral Love is going to be suffering there. Entire front side of the ship is going to fall off, and that is a kill. Bam. Ooh, there's the critical we were talking about as one of Kalmia's ships is going to go down there. Love that little reactor bloom cooking off and illuminating the area. Brief pause to the gunfight as the jamming will break some of the locks here, but we'll see it quickly start up once again as they have reestablished themselves going through the smoke cloud here. Subtle Hubris just kind of taking these hits on the nose, looking pretty healthy. That is a big broadside, though. Kalmia dictating the fight now, coming in with the surprise flank. Let's just see how quickly ANS responds with the return fire. We already saw one of the bulk freighters get salvoed down. Still, very good plasma here, suddenly swinging this fight around. Big cavalry overload there. OSP formation, though, not quite in position to knock out and punish it. A lot of their monitors are now moving behind the rocks here due to the angling. Ocellos still have a few shots they can get in here, but now they're going to be masked. There's the return salvo as Kalmia drifts far over the rock here now. They're putting themselves in a very vulnerable position. This is still 2 Axfords worth of firepower. 3,000 points against a bulk freighter like this is going to be a very painful thing that they're rapidly experiencing. Now noticing their plasma cannons and their damage control systems going down. That's going to be pretty much all the restores bled out here in a moment. So while they do deliver a good sucker punch, it is not the sucker punch they need to have at the time. They need to deliver that when the team is in position to follow up and secure that kill. Whereas the Axfords, with their very good repair ability, will recover and restore themselves. Couple more missiles being fired now at the bottom side of the map. We're going to see the trig pull from Kalmia eating a missile into the belly there. Knocks out the reactor and does a good chunk of damage to the basic CIC. See more ships just kind of getting cleaned up around the map. Missiles galore, just hunting down light ships here and there. Big gunfight, just kind of sitting on that E-point side. So, while ANS does have some of the capital assets to still brawl this out, OSP is moving further ahead on the points. 438 to 320. Ooh, we're seeing, again, one of those. Yeah, Highball is bleeding assets here heavily. Where was I? Yes, we're seeing the kind of advantage being had here by OSP as they are surging ahead on the points. That 100-point handicap here. Normally this would be pretty neutral, but they have managed to move up decisively enough. ANS electing to give ground here and play safe. Yep, they've managed to keep that E-point. And now, Kalmia, like we said, getting heavily taxed for the over-aggression here, exposing too much beyond the points, needs to be a little more conservative with the pushes that they're doing, trying to play more in tandem, need to coordinate with the team when you do your strikes. as we're seeing now the ANS team coordinating their strikes. 3 Axers of firepower against 1 Bulk Freighter. That is bad news bears, down to just 1 restore. Can possibly chain restore, bringing the storage back online and then maybe the complex, but that's going to take them a long time of limping back into cover and trying to repair the ship. Missiles down below hunting after MMTs. Unfortunately, 2 of those going to be deflected as the Whelp Manly narrowly avoids some of these salvos from Highball. Highball coming out with these little command pairings. I'm very much liking these. I might steal this design myself. Bullseye radar lock gives you a 9-kilometer range that you can hit people effectively with. Yeah, command on crap track quality is the problem. You can see them now jumping around like hell there. Needs to burn through and be able to get that range so they can hold their bullseye, because otherwise these missiles are most likely to miss. Command seekers are very good when you have good track quality, but when you have mixed track quality, you might see them just go all over the place. Woo! There they are, just whizzing off into the abyss, unfortunately getting jammed. Non-penning tugs, Tails oldest time, yeah. Torpedoes this game, interesting thing, like we saw, what was it, down to the B point, I believe, there was a shuttle that ate one on the nose and just managed to limp away with nary a scratch on it. ANS currently holding the ground still over on the east side, OSP doing the same, just kind of skirmishing here. While the OSP has secured this advantage, ANS, I think, is favored to win some of this frontline fight once they get a bit of decisive bite. They've recovered from Kalmia's sucker punch with the 2 liners, and now recognizing what they've managed to kill here, they should start pushing a little more aggressively. The Chaos is a little bit far back here and electing to pick fights instead on its own against some of these monitors. So monitors fairly small targets and are able to take quite a few of these hits, actually. So there's kind of a sort of stalemate here. That said, stalemate is victory for the OSP in this situation, as they have a 3-cap versus the 2-cap. Axford's going to execute what remains. Yeah, it's just a matter of time here, as these Axfords, still fairly healthy, getting plasma stripped, but there's not nearly enough punch to follow them up. Needed that high damage D30 burst with the HEHC rounds to really throw these things. Currently, with the 450 being displayed here, they can take these hits and recover from them pretty well. Plasma won't dictate too much there. One's useful to draw fire since 120 don't burn them. Yeah, monitors are able to take quite a few 120 hits thanks to the armor plating, which, like we described, 48 centimeters of armor is quite good. Most armored thing that the OSP has in their arsenal currently. You see the Ocello over here suffering a little bit, though, as it tries to keep its bow onto certain targets. Unfortunately, just getting picked apart from various broadsides here. That's going to hurt them quite a bit. Jamming is just barely on the edge here. Not enough to break locks, I don't think. Yeah, that's going to be 3 Axfords worth of firepower against this Ocello. They're just starting to really break this thing down. It is the best target, as the spectators are agreeing here. Able to take out the reactor and some of the systems here. They'll be able to bring this thing down before they finally manage to try and hit one of these monitors. See the monitors here just using their narrow formation. Sorry, not the narrow formation. They're using their narrow profile in order to kind of like play fuck games at this edge of formation range. And just kind of a stalemate over here. Let's take a look back on this side. All of these Corvettes just kind of getting cleaned up. Vostal lost most of their wing. Highball bled out of about half of their assets. Still has some awareness assets and a missile Corvette or 2 guarding the D point over here, just trying to solidify their holdings. Most of the fight going on the east side. A couple of command missiles, unfortunately, don't make it home there. Just not able to get a good lock. That's tragic. That's just going to be an AMM fired over here. Does not actually lock onto ships, as they are not small targets, and will just fart itself out. All right, let's take a look here. Bulk freighters remain dead. Monitors remain kind of just contributing fire here and there. OSP kind of lacking in decisive assets to solidify this fight. Although they do have a cap advantage, they're going to have to hold on and try for that victory, because currently ANS just like holding on with their capitals here, delivering a lot of damaging fire over here. The unwanted optimism is that unwarranted optimism over here, just getting smacked about. That said, it is taking a lot of these hits on the nose, so we'll be able to hold out for a long time. Auxiliary steering tanking is good, trying to prioritize repairing those, keep them alive. This thing's mag is looking pretty damaged, though. Losing its large locker is bad. This thing has no more restores, so any damage you see now on this Ocello is going to be permanent. Plasma is doing work. A lot of these ships have gotten pretty cooked, looking like burnt chicken nuggets over here, but still, there's just no 100 mil follow-up to really decide these matches. Needed to keep those bulk freighters alive and well. Let's see if Kalmia is able to recover anything here at all. Still has some restores, but has used most of them keeping the systems alive. Yeah, that's going to be rough. This thing just does not have the knockout firepower they need to hit these already plasma-stripped Axfords. Take a look further around the map as the game just kind of develops here. Both teams just kind of electing to go for this east side gunfight and then pretty much just killing each other on the other avenues of the map. Either tugs will take out a corvette, or corvettes will take out a tug or shuttle or something along those lines. The silo asset from whatever really doing work there. Still has its decoys left in the bank, so you see those get used towards the end of the game to try and mess around with the enemy's head. Fortunately has expended its entire complement of size 2 missiles, but given the state of the ANS formations around this side of the map, I'd say they've gotten their money's worth. There is so many dead shuttles and corvettes kicking around here. Take a look over on the A point. Vostok just kind of hanging out here with their one asset they've got remaining. Let's see, does this still have missiles? Yeah, still has some missiles there, so might provide a little bit of punch from a flank. That said, here's the attempt to cap the A point coming in from Kalmia. Reactor Bloom down there that we're seeing as well. Let's go ahead and just check who has what left in this game. Subtle Hubris has most of an Axford. No more restores on this thing, so it is going to instead suffer. And now we're starting to see some shots here as Hardly coming in with a fairly fresh Acello is presenting broadside, which is not what you want to do. Still able to get some good shots into the Axfords over here, buying them time. That's all OSP is trying to do right now, buy time so that their cap advantage can really add up. Axfords are winning this fight pretty well. Monitors having to give ground here because they cannot stand toe-to-toe. Acello's over here as well, just kind of like bow tanking like this. Very hard to kill in a fast manner. If you're able to get around the sides and really push up aggressively, you can kill these things off, hitting their reactors and drives and whatnot. But currently, they're just kind of holding it here. Vastal with the ACAP contest, like we saw earlier. Yeah, Kalmia over here with the naked shuttle, just trying to get this with a, where is it? VLS, yeah, technically a missile, has a ceremonial arming. That said, Vastal just hanging out over here, has a frigate with a proper missile complement. Might say something about that if they want to peek around the rock. Yeah. ANS, pretty good to hold on to their caps here, but they are, again, falling pretty far behind on points. It is going to rapidly approach that area where they're going to need to secure not just a 3 cap, but a 4 cap. So really just trying to see who wins this E-side fight. E-fight pure. Yeah, it's pretty much just capital on capital here, just brawling it out. Axfords at this point, I think, just need to realize the situation of the game and push up and sit on that point because there's nothing that they can really get dislodged from there. If they pick a brawling fight with those monitors over here, they will just get small. I'll pretty much just win against these monitors. Like, the front side of the monitor has been pretty much knocked out. There's not much offensive firepower. They might be a little annoying, but yeah, a lot of these guns and angles and stuff going to show. Gotta just get this one side of the map, which is dictated by gunfighting over here. The other side of the map is just missile play and light ships galore. Gonna see some of these little light assets here. Multi-mission tug squaring off against torpedo corvette, trying to have a bit of a fight here. Going for that C-point back cap. Might get it. Let's see if these size 2 missiles are good. Command lock looks pretty decent. Defender is trying to fire. There goes some of the size 1 AMMs. A couple of them will deflect there. Still more are being delivered. Last second deflection. Highball managed to live it. The Dysphoria Disaster here. Gonna go for the C-cap here. A swing and a miss there. Oh, actually, no. That one will hit. Okay, wow. Highball saying WTF here as well. Not sure what they're referring to in this case, but Club Soul over here just ate a missile. Reactor going critical from a fuel line fire. No, that's the drive going fuel line fire. What am I saying? Yep. See, as over here now, finally, ANS realizing the situation, deciding that they're going to go here. Yeah, Tug ate 2 torps. We've been seeing a bit of that. Tugs and shuttles and stuff eating torpedoes and just not taking damage. Possibly a missile error there or something. Very odd. Huh.
Very common.
Might have to take a look at that at some point then, do some testing on that if that's a consistent issue, possibly to do with the map or maybe some weird hit angles, so. Huh.
No, it's just common, it happens all the time.
Fair enough then. Size 1 bonk missile here out of spite. Let's see what they get. And that's just going to go after the chaff cloud here. C-point attempting to be resecured by the multi-mission tug that's drifting onto it. Yeah. The Dysphoria Disaster over here just looking like it's going to stay crippled. Still, we'll hold on a little bit here. E-point finally being capped by the ANS who realize the situation and are confident enough to push up. Not really too much that's going to threaten these ships here. Like, it's going to hurt, but they will be able to sit on this cap long enough to get themselves the 4 points. Now we see the monitors being forced out of cover like we wanted to see before. Hopefully the Axfords will be in position now to engage on them. I see 4 Axfords. There we are. Just a little bit of masking issues now. Them just all moving forwards, engaging in a fistfight brawl. Very interesting seeing no beams in this fight, because beams would have been very decisive, especially given the engagement anglings and positions here. Kalmia coming back in the fight. Like we said, Bulk Freighter needed a little nap. Now we see the HEHC rounds flying out that we want to. Yeah, all these ships have been plasmid and stripped down, so this is going to do some serious damage here. That's what you want to see. Good fleets working in tandem here to deliver a little bit of punch. Yeah, we handed the extra points to OSP because of how busted beams are on the map, but do they need it, though, is the question here. ANS just electing not to bring beams, so possibly a error on their part. It is one of the essential cap control tools of the ANS fleets. Yep. Axfer is just migrating onto the E point, not able to get the caps here. Many of them actually getting disabled at this stage. Yeah, they just waited a little too long to try and do this push here. If they had deathballed together and then gone for an aggression, say overloading onto the flanks of an Ocello like this, they would have been able to get it. But unfortunately, just took too long skirmishing here, trying to hold down the trigger. And now Kalmia is back in the fight. Yeah, 100 mil starting to fly in here. 100 mil does a lot of damage here with T30. Let's see. Bang, 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 bang. Yeah, just watching all the internals get cooked off here. Damn. If ANS does not bring... Yeah, that's the thing. If ANS does not bring the toolset that they need to achieve victory, then it is not on our... Well, it's not on the fault of our administrators who have set up the game in this style. See the A point continuing to be held here. Vostal just smartly keeping this ship hidden here. Not really too much there's a threat to it. I believe these are just... Yeah, this one is skeletized, and this one has just a arming missile. So... C point over here is in the hands of the ANS as well as the D point, but I don't think that that will be enough. They would need, I believe it's over 700 points to win on a 3 cap here. Said OSP just going to win on a 2 cap, assuming nothing changes. This long continuous gunfight drawn out since, like, I'd say about a third into this game, this has just been the gunfight to have here. Axford players deciding that they want to throw down against the Ocellos, monitors wanting a piece of the action too. Kalmia maybe getting a little overzealous there, overextending with the bulk freighters at first. That said, bulk freighter does come back with a vengeance, is now continuing to pepper away at these Axfords here on the E point. OSP doing their job of just sitting on this point, contesting the cap until these assets can finally be bled down. Seeing all the internals here going off. So 2 Axfords kind of healthy here. We're going to see Daminar over here trying to pick a fight against the Iron Limb here. Version mismatch that has sprinters inside the rock. Sprinter inside the rock here. Hang on a second. Not sure what he is talking about in this case. Huh. Not seeing any sprinters inside rocks from my perspective at least. Oh, have to have somebody else take a look for that one. We do have the peanut gallery here on display, so they can find maybe something like that. Yep. Nope. Nope, that's not it. Looked like it might have been. Strange. Anyway, it's just going to be a slow, continuous gunfight grind here, as I think OSP is going to collect on the victory here unless ANS can do something about it, needing to find themselves a 4th cap and just kind of struggling to. See a bunch of sprinters all out in open space. Yeah, most of the sprinters here seem to be just kind of in open space, picked off earlier on, or just otherwise limping along. See Vostal up here. The only surviving sprinter in their formation was the one that lost his drive earlier, so it stayed relatively safe at the top of the map. And C point is a ship graveyard over here. Just not much really to say now, as we just have to wait for the game to kind of develop and round itself out. ANS not really making a big play towards any of these points. Looks like Kalmia, going critical here. Reactor is going to have an overload in about a minute. Probably has enough time to fix that. They're drifting their way onto the A point here, trying to dislodge the one ship that Vassal has. Good plays here, realizing the situation and deciding that instead of trying to commit to already a good stalemate, and by stalemate, I mean one fight, they're going to try and clean up any light assets left on the map to secure themselves a win. Also been doing great work remaining. Yeah, Vostal has been doing a good job here, just like holding on to this position, keeping themselves kind of in the game. ANS could win this if they potentially get a cap. The question is, do they? Let's see, this is going to be a missile strike flying home into the missile silo here. Yeah, this thing had an intel center. I love this as a little asset. You can get yourself some missile support around the map. You can do some containers gaming and stuff. Although we do see the reactor going off here, which is not good. This thing is probably... Yeah, this thing is just going to die. No damage control. Unfortunate. Wop wop. Let's take a look. Kalmia possibly going to blow unless scrammed. Might make it in time. 83% on that reactor fix. Let's see. 20 seconds to go. Might make it, might not. 88%, 89, 90. I think that they make this in time. ANS is going to lose. Yeah, so ANS will lose unless they secure themselves another cap, and E point is just a neutral stalemate right now. Let's see if Kalmia goes up in flames or not. I believe that, yes, they do manage to fix it just in time. There we go. Ooh, close one. Yeah, down to the wire on the timer right there. Now the ship will migrate itself onto A, clean up shop there, and I think that's just going to be OSP collecting their victory, so... Yeah, they are only down a small amount, but it's just going to be a matter of do they get onto the points. Now we're seeing Hardly migrating their way over into D point. I don't believe there's anything that can really stop them here. Bit of a difference on that. This game is to 1,000 points for anyone wondering. Line ship decoy being fired off there. Nice to see that thing actually made itself out of the launcher. Some size 1 anti-hybrid missiles going out there. Yeah, Highball still has some stuff getting around, but I think that ANS just kind of throws this a little bit, not bringing the tools that are so powerful on this map, specifically the beams, liking to go for some interesting plays, the bombing wing over the top to possibly counter high-mounted mass drivers onto these various pillars and whatnot. Yeah. It's going to be very close here, as it's just going to round out now It's going to be a couple more point ticks, and then OSP will collect this. Still 250-ish points needed for ANS to win it, so they would need to get a very decisive back cap. But unfortunately, just with the situation the game has here, I don't think they're going to make it. We're going to probably see Hardly migrate their way onto the D point over here. Do they still have offensive firepower? No, they don't actually have the mag, and the CIC just gets booped there. It still has an aux steering, so they're able to keep the ship maneuvering. Let's see. Yep, Subtle Hubris over here trying to say something about that with their topside gun. Peppering away at the OSP assets on the A point here, trying to deny them. Let's see if Calmia is able to get that shot. Yep, now they're finally Vassal's last living asset over here. It's going to be plinking away at this thing. Eating some hybrids for good measure, though. Hello. There's a reactor cook-off from whatever's ship, that little missile monitor in the back. Now some size 2 hybrids from the corvettes that are still alive, going to be flying down, trying to trim out anything here. Ooh, swing and a miss on 2 of those. Unfortunately, track quality not quite good enough. Yeah, the Oxycello, they won't be able to kill this thing, I don't think, but I believe that Highball here, coming in clutch with the armed ship versus the disarmed one, should be able to contest this. This ship has no magazine there, possibly has a... I don't believe that there's any arming missile. No, D point going to stay firmly in the hands of the ANS here, so that will be a lockout on that point there. All Calmia's guns gone. Yeah, Calmia just getting lit the hell up over here. Critical event going off in the magazine. That's going to be a mag debt. No teams in position to save this in time, so the ship is going to blow. Watch for another 15 seconds before the front side of the ship goes kablooey. 10 seconds to cook off. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, and bam. There is the magazine detonation going off, all the internal explosions. I believe the ship is structure broken. I don't know if we have a marker for that on this new UI. Crew is certainly panicked. I would be too. Yeah, that is going to be a dead ship there as the A point continues to still be in the hands of the ANS, to their credit. They are trying to work on the B cap here, though. Hang on, do they have a turnaround potentially in time or not? Gonna be close here. Might get it if they're able to secure this B point. Monitor is saying something about it, trying to hold on to the cap here, but does not have any weapons left here, so let's see if they are able to hold it or not. Axfords have just been firing for the past hour, it feels like. They're continuing to try and peck away at the ships here, but there's just so much capital beefcake to have to get through. They don't have the decisive damage they need to really knock these things out. It's just the E point over here, as, again, these Axfords just kind of chilling here, hanging out. 40 points to win for the OSP, and then that would be like 162, I believe, for ANS.
20 ticks for OSP.
I think that OSP wins this on a 1 cap, but that's actually going to be really close here. Somebody can do a calc real quick and check on that. OSP trying for the back cap, but ANS on the ball for the denials. Nicely done. Get a last reversal here. Just going to wait out the timers here. This is going to be very close. Again, a quality of life feature I would love is to see a little timer here dictating how soon it will be until we get a cap victory. Not sure if that's possible or not, but quality of life feature maybe one day. Yeah, just all these ships here, just spaceship graveyards forming on the E point, one formed around the C point. D point, mostly uncontested for a lot of this game into this last second. A point, there's plenty of things there. Vassal was right for... was the right target for the S2s. Damn, they would have messed up one of the green birds. Yeah, IS-2s could do a lot of work over here on this angle, but at the same time, controlling the entire bombing wing here, not allowing them to get into the backfield and then run through that. Good plays on their part, countering that big flank overload. Just watching now as this kind of closes out here. This is going to be very close. I think that ANS technically wins this by like 2 points. This might either be an ANS win or a draw. This is super tight because they're getting 4 cap versus 1 cap here, filling up 2 points per tick versus 8 points per tick. So it's going to be tight. I don't believe that there's any more plays that can really be made. We're just going to have to wait and see the timers tick down here. If this ties, that would be incredible, knowing that OSP had a 100-point advantage given to them. So ANS wins this according to the calcs. There we go, since they stopped all cappers. So let's just wait and see if they can get the time here or not. Potentially could knock out these Axfords and then try... No, they actually own the E point already, so no difference will be made there. Yeah, just kind of down to the wire here. This is going to be really close here. Let's watch as these points fill up here.
The enemy is securing zone eclipse.
Oh, that might be it then. Yeah, they're getting the E cap here. There's nothing left on the point here to contest. Are they able to drift anything onto it? ANS will win it just like this. Just, oh my god, the E-point fight finally. Like I said, the Axers move onto the point and are able to secure it here. They're going for the flip here. I don't think they're going to get enough points in time. It's going to be damn close. Let's see if this will actually decide it or not. Yeah, Vindication right the whole time. Bulk mag, yeah, just Fleet here holding the line. Damn. Now, this one is going to be taking a whole bunch of hits here. Bloody as hell affair on Ruby Shelf today. Damn. E-point, this is going to be very close here as we just watch these things tick down, assuming the E-point had not flipped like it is doing so. Yep, that will be ANS victory, even without the cap there. Just one more tick, and that will spell it. That is going to be GG. ANS achieving victory on one of the beam-favored maps without needing to use beams. OSP being given a 100-point boost as well, and just not quite able to get it. So that's going to be called GG. Thanks, everyone, for coming out. Let's take a look at the post-game screen to see what kind of stats these things racked up over the game.
Good game.
Bloody as hell affair.
Very.
Daminar only getting 5k on one of the asteroids that got focus fired. The other one pulling 20k. Good stuff there. Highball able to get some decisive missile plays here and there. Seeing good numbers racked up over these little Corvette pairs. Loving this tech. Might steal this myself. Subtle Hubris over here pulling the numbers. We got 29k and then 14.5k across two Axfords there. Yeah, these ones with the side turrets here really delivering punch. Vassal unfortunately getting scouted out on the flank above, not able to get huge damage numbers, still eating a bunch of size 2s that could have gone into those Axfords. Calmia maybe a little overzealous, trying to push forwards a bit too early, not having the rest of the formation with it. Still was able to get some good plasma hits and then follow up with a little bit of T30 later on in the game. Crow, although not dealing huge damage numbers here, these monitors just kind of surviving for the rest of the game. Over here, we're seeing Hardly holding on here. 7k on one Acello, 17k on the other one there. Yep. Lastly, whatever, rounding out the team. Loving that missile brick here. 14,000 damage dealt with a bunch of size 2 missiles there. Anyways, yeah, that was down to the wire there. So I've been Nekoboy Blue. I hope you all enjoyed this game on Ruby Shelf. I'll catch you all next time.